This is the uniform six-step process. Step 1 is to establish assessable expected outcomes. These may be student learning outcomes, which describe what student knows, thinks, demonstrates, or learns in a class or program, or performance outcomes, which describe what a non-academic area or unit does to support the institutional mission and ultimately student learning. Every outcome in the assessment system must be intentionally related to university mission and strategic planning KPIs. Details on relating the outcomes will be covered in a separate module. Outcomes relate to one of the four elements of the university mission statement and one or at the most two of the 5 KPIs of Strategic Plan 2015. Step 2 establishes criteria for success. This specifies the criteria that indicate that the outcome from Step 1 has been met. This is where levels of performance are specified, such as 80% of graduating seniors will score 450 or above on the senior exit examination. Step 3 is the means of assessment. This specifies the direct and/or indirect measures that will be used to assess the performance on the expected outcome given in Step 1, and is the assessable part of having an assessable outcome, whether it's student learning or unit performance. Step 4 is where results of the assessment are entered periodically. The results of the assessment and a narrative analysis and interpretation of those results, as well as indicating whether the criteria indicated in Step 2 was met according to the data analysis of Step 4. Results may be yes, criteria met, no, did not meet the expectations, or NS, not scheduled for assessment this cycle. Step 5 is an improvement plan. This plan is based on the review of data from Step 4. What might account for the performance obtained? What actions might be taken to sustain or improve performance? Planning should be both intentional and a collaborative process. Engage stakeholders, faculty, clients, employers, students, and so forth in the planning process. Not applicable is not an acceptable response to the Step 5 plan. Step 6 documents the results of the plan from Step 5. This step may not be completed until the end of the following academic year. For example, the documentation of 11-12 plan wouldn't be entered until the end of the 12-13 year as part of the ongoing cycle. A plan has to have time in order to show result. This may include documentation of proposed processes as well as new data. The time frame for entering data in this example shows that steps 1, 2, and 3 typically run for the entire assessment cycle. Step 4 is an annual report of the measures from Step 3 and an evaluation of whether they met or did not meet the Step 2 criteria. At the same time in year 3 that year's data for 4 is being entered, one would enter the Step 6 data or response to the effectiveness of the Step 5 plan from the previous year. The Step 5 plan based on the 12-13 data comes after, of course, Step 4 analysis. Typically, this occurs in the fall following the end of the assessment cycle. And the following year, the Step 6 results of that plan would be entered. And that same pattern follows throughout the cycle.